everybody? It's Carter here. A little bit different. We're not doing generation gap this time. As we've done with some other episodes, we talk to fans of different teams because they know the teams really well. We want to be able to see their perspective and what they can contribute and what they want to see happen. So, once again, here with the GOAT himself, Roger Smith, my dad. He's here. He's going to talk about the Chicago White Sox. This is actually a hand-me-down shirt from him. He's probably the biggest White Sox fan that I know. We're going to talk about a couple different things of what to expect for the White Sox, things we want to see happen from a fan's perspective. So to start off, what are your expectations coming into this season?
I don't have any. The White Sox started an official rebuild 3 years ago. They traded off their best players. Chris Sale, right there. My opinion, my favorite pitcher in baseball. And if I had one game, I'd probably pick him to start. Last year he helped Boston win a World Series. But they traded off all their good players and they went young. Last year they had their first wave of young players come in. This year they're having their second wave. My expectations, I would like to see the young players do well. But I guess, it goes against everything. I want to see the White Sox win. But the worse they do, then the better draft pick they would get.
Trust the process.
So in theory, you would be like, hey, if they suck again this year, they'll get another good, not because not only do you get a good young one, you get the best player in the second round and a really good player in the third round, and they could take that farm system and make it outstanding. But the problem is they've had early draft picks, and they've gotten good players. But from their draft picks, they don't have anybody outstanding. So trust the process. I don't trust the people doing the draft because they've got good players who might turn into fine major leaguers. They don't have anybody that's going to turn into an MVP or anybody that's going to be Hall of Fame. So, do I want them to lose? And then even though last year I was kind of saying get the worst record you can, when I watch a game and the bottom of the ninth inning ends and the White Sox lose, I'm still mad. So, I guess, I really don't want them to lose because the fan of me is like, that's my team. I want them to win.
Yeah, no, for sure. Who are some of the key players or people to look out for? Maybe not necessarily people who are, obviously there's probably going to be an all-star on that team because that's how baseball works. There will be players who have a good season, some that have a bad season. But who are, when you say the White Sox, who should we keep an eye out for?
Okay, the key with the White Sox is they just gave the highest contract ever to a player that had never played a major league inning. Wow. Eloy Jimenez got extended $43 million, can be more than that, and the White Sox now control him for a longer length of time before he's able to hit free agency, and that was kind of a trade-off. That's a big chunk of money for somebody who's never played in the major leagues. He's number one. The second one was the second two players were the key two players in the Chris Sale trade. Yohan Moncada. They just moved him to third base. He hits the ball okay, but if they wouldn't have arrested him, he would have set a major league record for strikeouts. Okay, and if he doesn't do better than that, then that's a waste of trading the best pitcher. Yeah, and then they got a pitcher who can throw 100 plus miles an hour in that trade, but he just had Tommy John surgery. So if he does, so that's Michael Kopech, and if he doesn't heal, then you're sitting there going, you traded away Chris Sale for a guy that strikes out and a guy with a bum arm.
One thing that you want to see happen this year, whether it's a trade, a coaching change, just want to see him win when you watch live, whatever the case might be. One thing you want to see this year.
The most loyal owner in all sports is Jerry Reinsdorf. I'd like to see him either sell the team. That's my number one wish. But you did give me a World Series in 2005. Thank you. My dad was the biggest White Sox fan I know, and he never saw one. So thank you. But Kenny Williams hasn't done anything right since 2005. He was your general manager. He's your team president. You need to do two things. You need to give him a check and say thank you. Anyway, that's my opinion, and it's the right one.
So funny. All right. Well, nothing like talking to true loyal fans. This is the same guy that said it was important to be nice, not do too many hurtful comments, and then when you talk about their favorite team, you start to see the true fan and what the heart desires. Thanks everybody for tuning in.